kick off with funerals. And I'm feeling proud here because we have just had such kind words about Teresa and the family, without which Tender really wouldn't be here. If you know our story, you know that they've made it entirely possible. So I'd like to really acknowledge the support that they gave us, and we are taking it forward, and that's why we are here tonight. And I'd like to start off by just talking about the normal elephant in the room, which is, of course, that unlike all of you here tonight to talk about death, most people don't want to do it. And that is a real problem, because when people don't know their options and they don't know how to ask the questions they need to, they can't get the things that they want. And the funeral industry has really disconnected us from the process of grieving and funerals. So when that happens, prices go up and choice goes down. And we know that funerals can be a very scary and expensive time for families. And for a lot of families, the choice seems to be, well, we could have no funeral or we could have years of debt. That's a reality for a lot of families, and that just can't keep happening. So at Tender Funerals, our vision is that every Australian has access to meaningful and affordable funerals. And tonight, you are all going to be part of a revolution that helps our community take back control of our funerals. So I'd like to talk to you tonight about a woman that I'm going to call Layla. Layla's husband is at death's door. She is not from this country, and she has an 11-year-old daughter. And she is absolutely distraught at the thought of what is facing her family. Normally, Layla would have two options. The first option is about $3,000, and it involves her husband being collected, taken away, cremated, and then sometimes just posted back. Is that meaningful? Not really. And what about affordable? Well, for tens of thousands of Canberrans and the people in the broader region, a $3,000 expense is just something they cannot afford at a moment's notice. And there might be people in this room who that applies to as well. So then let's look at the other option. Option 2 is you engage a funeral director. And we're all pretty familiar with that format. Pick a coffin, some flowers, maybe have a viewing, then we'll have a service at a chapel or a church or something, and then burial, cremation, and done. Now, will Layla feel like she's been part of a meaningful experience that's meant a lot to her? Or will she feel like a funeral might have happened to her? So that's the case for a lot of people. And then when it comes to affordability, the average cost of a funeral in Canberra with a service is $10,500. That's the average cost. And so if you're earning the average income, say $80,000, and let's remember Layla's just lost her husband, so her income may have dropped substantially. But $80,000, a $10,500 funeral is almost 2 months of your annual income. 2 months on a $10,500 funeral that might not have even done what you needed it to do. So, Layla is standing in front of us and she is saying, what do I do? So we could either weigh her down with the expense and the stress of a traditional funeral, or we could listen to what she needs. We could empower her with choices like, would you like to spend time with your husband after he's died, maybe at home? Would you like to wash and dress his body? Would you and your daughter like to decorate a coffin? Ours start at $150. We have beautiful family spaces at Tender. Bring your friends, make it your own, take the time you need. So how do you think Layla is going to be feeling now? Will she feel weighed down, or will she feel lifted up? Because that's what we really want from a funeral, isn't it? We want to feel lifted up. So how does Tender lift people up with their funerals? Well, the first thing is it's all about choice and information. We make sure that every family we talk to knows what they can ask for, what they can say yes to, and what they can say no to. Very important. Then the next thing is that we do all our funerals at cost. So if something costs us $150, that's what we charge you. But for us, being able to support families in financial need is part of that cost. So every funeral includes a contribution to our Pay It Forward Benevolent Fund, and that's what we use to waive or reduce the cost for families who really need it. And we know that this model works. Tender Funerals Australia has delivered over 2,000 funerals since the first site started in 2016. And they do an independent impact assessment every 2 years. And from the families that take part in that, we know that 97% felt that they had the funeral that they wanted, that it was affordable, and that it helped their family heal. 97%. That's an incredible impact. And that is the impact we want to have here with your help in the Canberra region. So we've been open almost 4 weeks, and we need to kickstart our Pay It Forward Benevolent Fund, and that's what we would like all of you to help us with tonight. So the average contribution from a benevolent fund at the other tenders is about $1,000 per funeral. So if we were able to raise, say, $20,000, you might think, great, that's 20 funerals that a family who really needs it can have. And that would be absolutely true. But it's actually so much more than that that we will achieve together. So if you think about it, we've got 20 funerals paid for, great. But then let's go back to Layla and her daughter. Layla's daughter is not afraid of death anymore. And she can go back to school and talk about her father's funeral with love and confidence. It might still be hard, and it's certainly still going to be sad, but it's not going to be distressing, and she's going to feel lighter. Layla will go back to work and her new life, and she will feel stronger, and she'll feel more capable, because she has worked with her daughter and her community to create something special that they did together. And she is going to feel lighter. And the family and friends that came to the funeral and reorganised all the furniture at tender to make it work for them, and who chanted and sang and painted the coffin, they're going to feel lighter. And then they're going to go out into the community and they are going to tell everyone what a good funeral could look like. And that's the other thing that we hear from families all the time. We've helped 10 families so far, and the thing we consistently hear is, I feel lighter, and the next thing is, and I'm going to tell everybody about it. And that is the ripple effect. We might pay for 20 funerals tonight, but the ripple effect is all those people go out into their communities and say, we can do funerals better, and it is going to be amazing. So a tender funeral can be for anyone. You can create a small intimate thing like Layla did, or you can have a full faith-based service with all the bells and whistles, or you can have a barbecue in your backyard. That is the whole point, because meaningful and affordable is different for everybody. And hopefully tonight, with your help, we can make meaningful and affordable accessible for everybody. Thank you very much indeed.